Hello, and welcome to the About Healing podcast, a show created for those on or awakening into their spiritual journeys, and who are ready, wanting, and learning how to heal themselves. I am your host, About Healing medium and certified spiritual healer, Cherie Buckman. It is my purpose to guide others to the path of self-healing and to inspire those on their spiritual journeys in finding their truths. Join me as I share my experience and unfiltered perspective in healing, as well as the incredible wisdom of the loving energy that guides us. Let's begin. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of About Healing podcast. I am really excited to be here again with you all today and getting into our newest topic. And this is going to be a great topic. This is a great episode. I feel like it's been a long time coming to do this episode. And after last week's special episode with Kathy and hearing her incredible story of how she went from surviving in her own life to now thriving in it, I feel guided to discuss a powerful tool that she used that others like yourself have access to, which is the intuition. This is our next step in taking back our power. We have discussed ways to find our authenticity, releasing our false beliefs, and finding our truths. But in order to help us stick to that and to truly know what those truths are, we need to activate and we need to understand and learn about our own intuitions. It is our way to stay true to ourselves. So I love the word intuition. It actually, to me, sounds like this really fancy word. It has this energy with it, and it's a very interesting term. I should also mention that there are so many other ways we describe intuition. And other words that we've used for this is the gut, our gut instinct. Our gut tells us. And then that brings us to the next one, which is just instincts. Instincts is another word that describes intuition, or it is just that place of feeling or knowing without reason. Intuition itself is per the dictionary quote, I should put that out there. This is not mine. This is the dictionary. It is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. So like I said, that's why we've described it as that knowing without knowing, that feeling we get in our gut. But this in itself, the intuition is actually, and it really is, it's located in the gut area. This is the psychic center, which is our solar plexus. This chakra is actually located about 2 inches above the belly button. So this is kind of like that stomach area, the core right there. So this is where we get the information from the intuition. When I say information, the intuition is based on feeling or emotions. This is not a rational thought, or it's not analytical. This is not something that you think through. It is that feeling or that knowing. And so to kind of get into this is why I find this topic so interesting, because some of you may be aware of your intuition and may have been working with it. But for those of you who've heard the term but have never actually, maybe with intention, used it or have learned about it, this is what I want to teach you today. I am going to talk about what the intuition really is. And then I'm going to teach you how to use it, how to strengthen it, and what it can be used for. To begin that, this is coming down into like the soul. This is what spirit has shown me throughout my process when I started learning about the intuition and starting to use it too. I came to this understanding that the intuition is actually our natural navigation system. Isn't that interesting? And it's true. This is a core system that we are born with to help us along our journey in life. It is an essential system. And most times we have completely ignored this system because throughout history, because we use the term intuition or something like that, we see it as like with the term woo-woo. It's very woo-woo to talk about. But it's not. This is a completely natural thing. And it just really depends on what words you put on it. It's because there are certain terms we see and having different connotations or the stigma behind it, where it's funny that you can call it instincts and people completely understand that and respect it. You have to think about it. Like, these are terms that are heavily used in, let's say, like in the police force, especially detectives. They talk about their instincts and using that, or their gut feeling or their gut instincts on following information or guiding them to seeking the truth. But that's exactly what it is and what it's to be used for. It is not woo-woo. It is not just for finding a perpetrator and building a case against someone, but this is meant for you and for every aspect of your life. Well, somehow along the line, we have separated it, where intuition has become the woo-woo thing, and the instincts is the natural ability we have as human beings. But that's not true. They're one and the same thing. They're just different terms we have put on it. The intuition is not just for women. We've heard that the term women's intuition. This is not something where someone with just one special ability is able to utilize or have. Absolutely not. This is something we all have. We all have this ability and capability to use. This is our natural connection to our soul. Our instincts and going with the gut is how we connect with our higher selves. To me, and especially like the image that I'm getting right now as I'm trying to communicate this, think of it as the solar plexus, because again, that's the stomach area. Think of it as the umbilical cord. It has the umbilical cord that connects to our higher selves, to our soul self. Because really large concept here, I'm going to give you a small piece of it that one day in the future, we will do an episode and I will expand upon this. The soul that lives within us is only a piece of our higher self. The higher self is another term we use for the whole soul, or the soul as a whole. Our whole soul could not fit, essentially, or be inside our living body or be associated with this, because it is so big and so high vibrating. For lack of a better explanation, hopefully it doesn't sound too like we would explode. It would not fit. It is so big and so high vibrating. So it is a piece. We are a piece of that, but we are connected to. So we are not separate from our soul. So it's like as if, again, that umbilical cord comes and it is connected to the solar plexus. This is how it is shown to me, and this is how they are explaining it. When I say they, again, I am connected. I am with spirit, and this is how they show me that this is our connection to understanding and seeking the answers from our soul level. That yes, this sounds like a really big, expansive concept. As a bigger picture, it's not. It's a basic concept. Because again, if you are in the space of believing that we are a soul here having a human experience, then this is the basic concept here, that it is our soul. This is how we speak. This is how we feel our way through. And that the rational mind, the thinking mind, is part of the ego and part of the human experience. And they are separate. And that's what that difference is. And so while our intuition or those instincts or your gut, however you want to term it, is known to tell us about danger, it's kind of like our alarm system. It is there to let us know, give us warnings. But it's also kind of like that Jiminy Cricket, so to speak, your conscience. Because it's part of that navigation system. However, it is not separate from yourself. There is no one there judging your choices, or it's not like the devil and the angel on the shoulder, giving that, because all of this is the battle within yourself. It is about the choices within. So our intuition is not just about determining right from wrong. This is the place that contains the answers to every question, every source of information you seek. We have developed very early on in our life the habit or the false belief that we have to find our answers outside of ourselves, where we're seeking and looking to others to tell us what's right for us. Do I take this course? Do I take this job? Should I do this? Should I not do this? What do I choose? What do I not choose? It's part of that development. Again, not with intention, But we have learned, again, through the experiences, and we've heard in the last few episodes talking about false beliefs and in finding your truths. We've talked about this conditioning and the things that we've learned out of survival. And this is also a part of that, where we are seeking permission from others. That's why we're asking it and looking for the answers outside of ourselves, because we're seeking that permission. We need that safety net for the decision we make, just to know that we're not being judged, or that this is a safe place, that no matter what we choose in it, it's going to be safe, that people are still going to accept us within it. Or we're looking to others for these answers because we want someone else to blame for our choices if it doesn't work out, because we're not ready or to be accountable for what we choose. Or again, it's just as simple as that we're just trying to meet expectations. We want other people to have the say. We're not used to having our own power, where we've given it out so much where other people have to tell us. We feel that other people have to tell us what direction to take or what choice to make. Well, that's where I want to go now. I want to teach you how to speak your soul's language, because that is what it is. Your intuition is your soul's language. We, outside of the human experience, we are not talking. We don't see, we don't smell, we don't hear, because we don't have the body. That is the body that does these things. We communicate through feeling. We communicate through that knowing. It's almost like that telepathic sense. We just know. We can just feel. There are no secrets, because there's no shame, no guilt, none of those other heavier or dense emotions that are linked with our own truth and knowledge, because there's no thought, no rational thought. Again, human-based. Rational thought is human-based. It's part of the ego. It's part of the brain, their thoughts. And that's the first point that I am trying to make, is that learning this language and learning how to use it, you first have to understand that the intuition is not rational. It is not about using your head. It's not about overthinking things. It is not fact-based. Like I said earlier, it's like that whole definition of intuition. It is to understand something without the need of conscious reasoning, because there's not. It's just, I just know this is right for me, or I just know I should not do that. We don't know why. We just do. And so now that we know it's not rational, we need to focus now on the feeling. We have to focus on kind of where we feel led, that knowing. And it is located here in the gut, in the solar plexus. So now I'm trying to find a way to explain to you, because I remember reading books on this when I was first trying to understand my intuition and trying to follow it. And I read about it, and it didn't make sense at the time because I had no idea what the difference was. But I completely do now. So I'm going to plant this seed for you. It was about the answers that are meant for you. You're going to feel it almost like a vibration within your being. And it's going to hit you like a ping. It's this kind of nice little vibration, this little like bell, or this tiny little shock wave that hits you. And it's this nice little vibration. And it's just this ping. It's a ping. And then the answers that are not meant for you, or the choices, or the feelings that you get, or the thoughts that come in that are not meant for you, it's going to be more of a thud. It's a little bit heavier. It's almost like a drop. Thud. And truly, and you're probably thinking this right now, like, what does this mean? Trust me, I was in the same boat as you. I had no idea what this meant until I started practicing with it, because it's very subtle. That ping or the thud, they're very subtle within yourself. But when you're so used to using your overactive mind, and it's running and you're thinking, there is no room to pay attention to the subtle feelings and differences within your body, because we are so busy and overstimulated that it's hard for us to go within to feel the little subtle pieces. These are the things that we are born with. This is what is naturally capable of leading us in our life, of making the choices that are right for us and not out of what is popular or socially accepted. And this is something that you can use in everyday things and everyday choices. Think about it. Maybe you have multiple ways to work. Which way do I want to take today? And this isn't without thought. That is, your instinct is the very first thing that comes to mind. They tell you when you're taking a test, don't overthink it. Just go with the answer that first comes to mind before you overthink it, before you start thinking. That's exactly it. That's your instinct. It is that very first thought that comes up before you over-rationalize it and over-question it and overthink it. It's the very first thing that pops in. And so you can use it for, again, which way do I want to take to work? Don't overthink it. It's just, which way do you feel? Okay, go. Take that one. This is how I guide most of my clients into making choices or understanding how to make choices for themselves. Because in my own practice and what I do not do the psychic work in the way of telling people or answering their questions of how to make choices for themselves. Like, should I take this job? Should I move here? What about my relationship and this and that? I do not answer those questions. I do not give the answers because they're not mine to give. And because, by the way, the future is fluid and forever changing with your own choices. So what I do is I am teaching to guide. It's that whole concept of like, you can give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, or you can teach them and they can feed themselves for a lifetime. So that is what this is that I want to teach how to make these choices for yourselves all the time. As an example, and I'm going to give you this as an example of how to start working with this or how to start utilizing and practicing with your intuition. It is put a question in your mind, something that has two options. Like, do I wear the red shirt or the blue shirt today? Do I eat a sandwich? Do I eat a salad? Come up with whatever question, make it simple for yourself that you have in your mind. But make it personal to yourself because that's the only way this is going to work for you. And then you're going to close your eyes and I want you to put that question in your forefront, right in the forefront of your mind, asking that question. Now, your option one, I want you to imagine it on the left side of your body. It's on the left side of your body, option one. Option two is on the right side of your body. Now, asking this question, this is not a thought-based answer. Do not think. This is something you have to feel or allow your body to be directed. It's going to be subtle. This is not extreme. It's not like you're going to all of a sudden fall over to one side. Or maybe you will. Maybe you lost your footing. I don't know. But if you sit quietly and keep asking which one is for me, you might even feel your body start giving a slight sway. You might start swaying back and forth, very small. And then you're going to feel yourself start leaning in one direction over another. And there's your answer. That is your energy. That is your intuition that is leading and drawing you to one answer over the other. Now, if you're leaning one way, let's say you're doing the red shirt and the blue shirt. You were leaning towards the blue shirt. And now that you're leaning there, you're like, no, but now I want the red shirt. That's a mind thing, and you can choose whatever you want. But the point is that you're learning to make choices for yourself. So there are many ways to actually have these questions and putting it in your mind. It doesn't have to be on one side of your body or the other. You can actually give these symbols. Just give a symbol in your mind of this is this choice and another symbol for this choice. Or if you have multiple choices, more than that, give them symbols. And see if you can kind of feel if you're drawn to one or the other. This works really, really well if you have pictures of your choices or like physical objects. And if you put them in front of you in one way and kind of doing that and see which way you feel pulled towards. So, and that brings me to the practice portion because learning your intuition and how to work with it and what is really your intuition or what's your active mind, this takes practice. Because again, if you're someone who has sat in this overstimulation and someone who overthinks a lot, it's going to take a lot of practice to slow that down and to desensitize. It's both. I feel like you have to desensitize from the outside sources of stimulation and you need to re-energize your inside energy. You need to start focusing on the very subtle pieces within. So start by asking yourself often and decide with intuition. Start small. Do not start with life-changing choices. If you're just starting with intuition, start small. It's in the grocery store. Which brand of pasta do I want? It's about what I want. So that's what brand of pasta do I want? What is it that I want? Selecting your wardrobe. One thing that I do every day that I use my intuition on, it's kind of where I started and I love it. It's my crystals. I have my giant bowl, my giant selenite bowl that is full of all my pocket crystals. These are the ones that I would carry in my pocket every day. And I have crystals on me every single day. I either wear them or they go in my pocket. But I do not consciously select my crystals. I don't look at them and like, ooh, that's pretty. That goes with my outfit today. I personally do not do it that way. Every time I close my eyes and I put the intention in my head or the question, which crystals do I need for my highest good today? And I just wait a second, or I feel around and there's just one I know I need. I can just feel it. I'm like, nope, this is the one I want. I pull it out and there it is. And for a long time, I would look it up. I was in that, like, I want to know what this means. What does this crystal mean? And I would look it up. And before you know it, by the end of the day, heck, if that wasn't the crystal I needed for my day. And it's amazing. Now I just completely trust and I just know. I put them in my pocket and I know that they work with me every day. Sometimes I use my intuition on how many I need throughout the day. Do I need one? Do I need three? Do I need more than that? It's all then intuition based. So I want to leave you with a couple of games or tools because these are really fun if you're looking for other ways to kind of practice your intuition rather than just creating your own choices. But other ways you can do this, there was one I learned. It's this car game. So while you're driving, if you drive in a lot of traffic, like going to work or taking your kids and running errands or whatever it is, try to see if you can intuit with the car in front of you or cars that you were passing, the gender of the driver. It's going to be male or female. Don't try to look at the hair. That's cheating. Just letting you know. Don't do it that way. That's cheating. And this is only for yourself. You don't even have to tell anybody. But it is one of those things where as you're driving, just in generally, if you have a long commute, this is something you can practice. And it's okay that you get it wrong. You should get it wrong because getting it wrong helps you understand what feels right and what feels wrong. So there's no shame in this game. It is truly just practice. You're going to be getting some right and some not right. But it is a way for you to practice that intuition and really kind of listening into your gut. And that doesn't even answer questions about yourself, but it is in general. But it's another way of strengthening the intuition. Another fun one is using a deck of cards. So get a deck of cards and put them all face down on a pile and just try to intuit the color of the card. Is it going to be black? Is it going to be red? As you flip it. And this is a great way to sit there and then try. It's not about numbers or statistics. It's not about thought. It's just feeling. Which one do you feel it can be? Do you see a color in your mind? Can you feel it? Try that. This is another way to enhance your intuition and practice with it. And when you get really good at that, or if you want to take it another level up, you can use the card game and get more specific with the driver, like what color shirt are they wearing? Or what type of, are they wearing a jacket? Are they wearing a shirt? Are they long sleeve, short sleeve, so on and so forth. Do they wear glasses? You can get into more detail. And when you start practicing with that, that's a lot of psychic work too. But again, psychic and intuition, they're all linked. Or you can, even with your deck of cards, instead of just guessing the color, you can start guessing the suit or even the actual card itself. The more you do this, the point of that is to help build the trust so that you can trust yourself in the bigger situations and questions, because trust is that other key component here. But the only way to build trust for yourself and knowing what feels right for you and what doesn't, and trusting that intuition, it's that practice and validation. That's why I'm giving you these little experiments where you have validation right after, where you can pass a car and see if it's male or female. You have the cards in front of you to see if it's black and white. These are validations. In developing the intuition, validation is actually quite important in building trust because you need to know whether it was working or not. Is it right or wrong? But eventually, as you start trusting yourself, you'll need validation less and less. Because you'll get to a place of knowing, number one, you're not always accurate. You'll never be 100% accurate, but that's okay too. That no matter what choice that you make with your intuition, you are trusting your own energy and your own knowledge and your own feeling in it rather than outside sources. Because give it as a comparison as getting information from an outside source. Just because you got it from an outside source, does that make it correct? Does that make it always 100% right? No. But now you know you made the choice for yourself, and that is taking your power back. So as I am bringing the episode to the end, I really want to explain that there are many situations where you will need to find balance in pairing your analytical thinking and your intuition. Because while our intuition is fantastic and it is our natural navigation system, it's still important while we are living in this human experience that there are many choices where we do have to use the balance of the ego, of the mental and the analytical parts. These are most especially for our larger questions. These are the life-changing decisions that we make for ourselves because there are more factors that we do have to consider, even though we have our choice. That there are some things that you would need to be ready for, waiting for the right timing or the conditions. These can be just as important. So you can feel your way to the decision you want, but these still may require many steps to follow through them. Your intuition is simply your guidance system to making the choices and decisions for your highest good. But some of these choices require finesse and due diligence, as well as hard work and accountability. So we cannot forget the rest of it as well. But it should be balanced. We can't forget our inner intuition and our natural abilities and just look for the outside source and what's popular or what's safe, because there is a balance in it. That's where we find and create. That's where we find the answers and create exactly what we want. So as I wrap up the episode, I just want to share that taking your power back requires you to not only question and learn, or even unlearn, what is right for you. It is also about understanding how to find all the answers you seek within yourself. To stop seeking others' approvals for the choices you make for your own life, and to begin to trust yourself. Learn to trust what you are drawn to and connect with your natural psychic abilities, your instincts, your gut, your intuition, the feelings. It is not a gift bestowed upon the special. It is our natural state of being and our connection to our own souls. So this week, I hope you have fun playing with your intuition and practicing and gaining the trust within yourself and making your own choices. You are well on your way, and you are doing amazing. And until next time, my friends, take care of yourself. With so much love and gratitude, I want to thank you for listening to this week's episode. My hope today is that the message continues to guide you along your path to healing. To learn more about me and my purposeful work, visit my website at abouthealingmedium.com. You can also follow About Healing Medium on Facebook and Instagram, where you can find the episode's healing guidance, quotes, tips, insights, and chances to win free stuff. To ask a question or to share comments, email me at abouthealingpodcast@gmail.com, or feel free to reach me on Facebook and Instagram at About Healing Medium. Until next time, be kind to yourself.